Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Hades 1. Here's our mirror setup for the day. You can see that Ruthless Reflex. I think that tells you everything you need to know about how well the Twin Fists have been going. I am going for a change of pace, 50 heat just ain't cutting it for a baseline run. So we're going to go the tried and true gimmick build that I loved and have done with every god now. The 50 heat dash only Poseidon dash run. Here we go. All right, I did use a starting boon selector to make sure that I get the Poseidon dash epic tier to start. We're also doing a couple other fun little mods here. We are doing Poseidon only. No Zeus, no Athena, no Hermes, no other, well, okay, maybe Hermes, but no other core gods aside from potentially Hermes, but I think even Hermes won't show up here. Basically, Poseidon is the only god we've got, and we're gonna make it work. Rupture early on is extremely important to this run because we do have damage control on, and to no one's surprise, damage control versus Poseidon Dash is not fun without his curse that hits so rapidly that those shields are nothing anymore. Conveniently, I did find a seed that has 2 Poseidon boons in a row, but having tried it out a couple times, there's never a guarantee that we will get Razor Shoals in that second room, especially one that we can take given the fact that we have approval process on. With all that said, though, again, we only have Poseidon in the bag, so basically we want all of his tier 2 boons that we can get, the ones that enhance damage when enemies are thrown into walls, and enhance damage when they make splash effects. If we can get his legendary, all the better. Realistically speaking, probably not going to see his legendary, and even if we do see it, the odds of us being able to take it against approval process are very low. So I need to emphasize the fact that this is not my first attempt at this. It has been many attempts, but that said, it feels surprisingly doable. The gatekeepers are, of course, the hero fight. Elysium as a whole can be kind of scary at times when the void stones pop out, and if I get a room full of archers that I don't use my dodges wisely. And the early game is honestly the hardest part, I would say, just because time is really important. And we don't have a lot of DPS without Razor Shoals. Thankfully, we did get it on this run, so there's a better chance than there's been in a while.
Sometimes a conversation.
As far as the actual... Money up is not bad. As far as the actual Twin Fist legit attempt has gone, it doesn't feel impossible either, but it is a substantially harder. I wouldn't say it's harder than doing the sword. It definitely feels more doable. I just haven't figured out... Oh, perfect. A epic tier breaking wave is amazing. That's a very high DPS boost for us. We've basically been given the 2 boons we want most out of this entire build. Now, if we could just see the boon that makes us do more damage against bosses, that would be great for us. And we are still going to be eating hits. I do have to be careful, especially because aside from a guaranteed Patroclus and Elysium, I'm not going to have much of a way of regaining death defiances outside of a lucky Well of Charon. But that's kind of the basic idea here is, unlike all the other dash only runs I've done, we have no Zeus to like boost our damage substantially. For several of the gods, Zeus was kind of the answer to a lack of DPS. We got his tier 2 dash boon and then just started stacking jolted damage and double strike, and it just goes from there, especially if you manage to get his legendary. We're not going to see that. Hammers here are really not that valuable to us, but a Than chamber we'll gladly take. Hey Than.
You look like you could...
All right, so the HP that we get from Than, assuming we can kill things fast enough, which thanks to Breaking Slam, we should be more than able to. We're melting things in Tartarus. This will fall off. It falls off very quickly come Asphodel and Elysium, particularly if we just are unlucky with getting the boons. But we somehow have rolled a common tier Razor Shoals, which is good enough because we just need it really. Don't get me wrong, its damage adds up to a ton, but particularly just so that it breaks damage control. That was one of the biggest gatekeepers. The run again was just running up against tight deadline all the time, but 29-4, we definitely beat Than there. Don't even bother reading what the hammer is because it literally doesn't matter. I have all of my buttons unbound except for dash, so I have no choice but to dash only, no matter what I want to do. I should mention though, as per my usual rules, my house rules for this self-imposed challenge, Chthonic keepsakes are still allowed, as was demonstrated in that mini-boss chamber earlier, so don't be surprised that was the thing. And just for full clarity, as far as mods that I'm using, I am using 3 mods. The starting boon selector that guaranteed me the Poseidon boon at the start of the room. The guaranteed story room mod, which, as the name implies, guarantees that our Eurydice, Sisyphus, and Patroclus will show up every time at some point in each of the floors. And then the final boon, the final mod I'm running is just one that makes it so only one god can spawn, and that one god is our Poseidon. That mod does also affect whether I can see Hermes or not, and I forget if I turned Hermes off or not. I probably didn't. I think Hermes is fair game here. That we're not getting Hermes is a support god. And even the game considers him kind of separate to the other gods for however he functions. So I'm willing to let him get the pass, you know? But so far so good, honestly. We made really good time through Tartarus. A lot of the time I get to Asphodel, and by the time I'm at learning, I'm already running out of tight deadline, and it's rough. And sometimes I get it to the Furies and I'm still running out of tight deadline, so we're going in pretty good. We've already got 185 max HP, which should not be underlooked. At this point, we have our damage. We just need survivability, and there aren't many things we can do for survivability here. So let's see, what am I gonna take? I mean, I'll just, yeah, Skull Earring, why not? I'll just, since I'm gonna be constantly using Stubborn Defiance for a reliable source of HP until we see Patroclus, I'm gonna constantly be in that red zone, and Skull Earring's damage boost will actually meet a lot of our, help out a lot for our lack of damage that doesn't feel like we have, but you know. Case in point, let's go ahead and die here, because I think I get to like 40 or 56. Okay, not bad. That's more HP than you start when you have a bunch of what is it called? Inspection routine inspection. Yeah. Hey, and more HP. I'll take that. I mean, the hidden chamber rewards is a problem, but we are never punished. We get Eurydice. Okay, and we'll just take. Refreshing Nectar could give us some good Poseidon boons, but honestly, getting levels on the dash isn't a bad idea either, or increasing its rarity to, if we get a heroic dash, I greeted for it, and I did not get the dash, but honestly, upgrading Razor Shoals and Breaking Slam are still really good. Like, we had 3 boons, and none of them were the wrong option, I suppose. Definitely would have preferred the base damage on the I am lucky that missed me. In typical fashion for these dash-only runs, I did take Ruthless Reflex, so I get one last dash, but Gilgamesh makes up for that by giving us 2 bonus dashes, so I still have 3 dashes at base, which is plenty. It is a lot of dashes. They are shorter range dashes, so the iframes on them are much fewer. The Ruthless Reflex gives you a 50% chance of dodging anytime you have a near hit. Like, you dodge with enough timing. I guess it doesn't really matter which of these I take. I don't know why I'm scouting them out. Force of habit, I guess. It's really funny to see what habits I've developed from playing this game for, like, speed runs and higher heat runs. Like, even when the tight deadline is off, when I'm playing casually, I still have a very serious habit of pausing before a room just to scan and see what it is. And I will say, I've been playing Hades 2 casually a little bit. I will start recording it. My thought process on that right now is just, I want to start recording it once the story is finalized, because it seems like they may have kind of added more to the story. And I presume at some point they're going to make that a permanent fixture rather than a, like, almost DLC sort of interaction. Floodshot doesn't matter, but we can sell it. It's probably better to roll, and Ocean's Bounty isn't much better, frankly, but more coin means more boons we can buy in the shop, plus pomps, plus HP, so probably worth it. I still have to account for a boon that I can sell, but we're gonna see at least one more boon, so it doesn't hurt to roll here, especially in a mini boss room where we have increased rarity on the boons that we get. It's objectively better to re-roll this one rather than whatever Charon sells in his shop later on in the run. That's assuming we don't have the mystery rooms lead us astray and just miss the end shop altogether, which is a very real possibility. Asphodel has bigger chambers but fewer in number. That's how they balanced it to make sure you're not pressed against time too terribly. So the 4 chambers of hidden boons from Chaos may last us into Lernie. I'm not sure. Never mind, we already popped the Chaos boon. What am I talking about? We'll take the rerolls here. Rerolls are always valuable. Never a wrong time to take those. So gladly. And we get a fountain chamber. We are genuinely just never being punished here, which is great for us. Really great for us. But here we are. Okay, so we've got learning coming up. Let's go ahead and buy a boon. We'll probably need this one to sell. Another level on Breaking Wave. Oh, I just locked myself out of the Poseidon Boon. Never mind. Well, my plan depended on me having a baseline level of intelligence. And well, Kiwi... Oops.
Let's have it out between us then.
Anyway, all right, let's see what Lerny gives us. I'm not too afraid of Lerny here. The thing that I've learned from doing dash-only runs is I have to be more conservative with my dashes than I would like to be. But mostly it's just starting my dash chain when I know the boss pattern is going to begin. So like, as these heads are spawning out, I see that Lerny is spawning his friends, so I can, not his heads, his like little friends in the eggs. So I know he's in an animation where he won't threaten me and I can start melting down his heads. You will find that I will find more than you, I suppose, that I do get into kind of a flow state where I just turn my brain off and hold the dash button, and I can very frequently be punished for it, but we did get one of the easiest Lerny heads to deal with, frankly. The spawner Lerny is annoying, there's no doubting that, but he is very manageable. Honestly, like if I were thinking about which Lerny heads are scariest, spawner can be really annoying, but I would say the projectile cone, like the pink projectile cone Lerny, is the one that most consistently ruins my day, because those projectiles can come out really fast, they have a lot of homing on them, and if I waste a dash, I'm getting hit, especially if I don't have an Athena boon at some point to deflect, of some nature to deflect it. I just saw, we just hit a 1, 2, 3 on our dash there. That felt not necessarily incredible, but funny, and therefore special. All right, we're making amazing time. We have been spooned some of the best possible Poseidon boons we could ask for, Ocean's Bounty notwithstanding, but still, again, coin matters. It'll get us some HP in the long run. Going to take Lucky Tooth here. I have lost so many of these attempts to sped up chariots, and I don't want to do that. So, moving along, we're in Elysium. So my general strategy for high heat runs, where I already have the boons I want. I showed you in an Asphodel, Skull Earring is extremely helpful for getting some extra DPS. Oh, we do have Hermes. Okay, well, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. More dashes, hyper sprint, you name it. We've got so many good options, and like I said before, I am comfortable taking Hermes on this. As far as core gods go, the one of 4 gods that you're allowed to take naturally per run, Hermes does not count as them. I did get hit, so we're not getting the Hermes boon anyway. So the sanctity of the run is still technically intact, but I let it be known that it was not by my choice. Anyway, shielders are annoying because, especially with armor, they don't get knocked around, which means they block a lot of our damage in terms of like what we can do with Breaking Slam, our Breaking Wave. Kiwi, it's like the Demeter tier 2 boons. My brain refuses to keep track of what their names actually are. So forgive me if I just repeatedly say the wrong name. Okay, now's my chance to take Hermes. Like I said, it's too good not to take, and it makes the run more fun. Let's be honest. Just getting more dashes. Like if we get more dashes, that just makes the run implicitly more fun. And I am sure I'm doing this as a challenge, and for like, I guess the fame and fortune that comes with my personal knowledge that I beat 50 heat dash only. But with that aside, it's fine. Like, I make the rules, I can change them on a whim, and I want to just do what's most fun. And because at the end of the day, what am I playing this game for? It's to have fun. I forget what I was saying before this though. My brain is too easily distracted. But the point being, oh, right. So keepsakes. So obviously, step 1, take the keepsake of the god that you want most, or if you know you're having a hammer come up, well, still take the keepsake of the god you want most, right? Let's see, what do we get here? Swift Strike, completely useless. We reroll that for sure. Quick Recovery, we will take. It's not anything, it's not any damage necessarily, but that gives us a huge margin of survivability considering the only time we're going to be getting hit is as we're dashing. Case in point. But anyway, so floor 1, Tartarus, take your god keepsake. Almost invariably, that is what I'm going to do because it basically sets the pace of the run. Usually. Sometimes I take that god and that's the first god and then they never show up for the rest of the run. We've certainly had more than a few runs like that, haven't we, Kiwi? And I will always complain about that because it just feels unfair. Anyway, after that, for floor 2, usually I take Athena because if we haven't already gotten Athena, we want Athena. Athena gives us Death Defiances, Athena gives us survivability in terms of reflex, Athena gives us her dash and Holy Shield for reflecting if we get hit. She is incredible, and Sure Footing. If you have Hide and Security on and you take 5 times more damage from traps, Sure Footing makes that feel like it's no longer a problem, especially against Hades where it matters most. We'll take the shop, yeah. We have so much coin we definitely want to spend on it. Anyway, and Mystery Boon. I wonder who's going to be in there. Oh, who would have guessed? It's Poseidon giving us another chance to re-roll a boon.
What else?
And Poseidon's Aid, we'll take it. We can't use it, but it's funny. We'll sell it. We do go for the Patroclus room here. As much as I'd love to dash into the bull, I'd actually rather not do that. And now we are basically set. But again, so floor 2, take Athena. If we're doing a gimmick run like this where that's done, well, we have the choice of Poseidon or Poseidon. Oh, I chose the wrong Poseidon, darn it. Hi, bull. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, just have, the bull is actually not that bad on a dash only run. I just have to make sure that I always end up behind him at the end of my dash chain, and overall hug walls, because that, when he starts charging, that's where everything just goes wrong very quickly. Anyway, so second floor, Athena or whatever god you're trying to get a duo boon with, and then third floor, Athena if you didn't already get Athena, or Lucky Tooth. I often take Lucky Tooth into Elysium because it's not the final boss that kills me, although it also very much can be. And if that's the case, then I usually favor Acorn over Lucky Tooth. If you do the math, in general, especially when you have this many levels of not lasting consequences, what's it? Hard labor, the boon that makes you take more damage from enemies. Like I'm taking double damage from all enemies right now. When you have that going, Acorn just blocks more damage than the 100 HP you get from Lucky Tooth. But that said, Lucky Tooth saves my butt more times than I can count when it comes to chariots here, especially if they're speed boosted. They are so hard to deal with on a dash only run in particular. Lucky Tooth just makes a world of difference. So we got Ocean's Bounty back after selling it, so I guess we're getting more coin. A shame too, because I saw the other tier 2 boon that I wanted. Another Fountain Chamber. We are getting spooned on this run, and another HP up, but we're gonna go for Hermes because more dashes or Hyper Sprint. There are so many things that benefit us. Like Hyper Sprint gives us 30, which every time we dash, which gives us a 30% damage reduction. That's incredible. If we get more dashes, then we get more DPS. Even if it's one dash, that's still effectively a 25% DPS increase, although not exactly with how things work out, but you get the idea. It's one more dash, therefore one more hit that does damage. Trying to think what else. I just keep hearing our cats make loud thudding sounds from upstairs. Kiwi. Someone seems to be constantly going on and off of the heater. I'm not sure the circumstances, but with the winter being as cold as it is in the territories that we live in, our heat is blasting and the cats are so enamored by the heater being on. I think they might be honestly fighting over it, potentially, given some sounds that we heard the other day. Poppy's in a little bit of timeout because she was picking a kerfuffle with Gnocchi. Not usually her target of hate of anger, but Poppy is the sweetest cat to people, but the maybe not the friendliest to other cats, unfortunately, which is a shame because she's so good otherwise. I wish her litter box etiquette could use some improvement. I think you've heard me complain about that on a number of recordings. I swear she times it for when I start recording. Anyway, ooh, Kiwi, a +3 to our dash. Oh my goodness, that is exactly what we want. This, like, RNG has been so good to us, and we'll take another Poseidon. This time, I'm not gonna buy the Palm before I buy the Poseidon. It's called it. There's his legendary. We can't afford it. I learned my lesson. I didn't buy the Palm before the Poseidon, so we got the boon we wanted. All right, heroes, here we go. I have got an extra Death Defiance. That will make this a lot more forgivable. We tag them to break damage control with Razor Shoals, and then we drop the Meg on them. Easy peasy, free damage. And now we just whittle them away. Oh my goodness, that was a ring around the pillar. Again, I think I got distracted while I was saying it, but Ruthless Reflex makes, I genuinely think Ruthless Reflex is so much more valuable on dash only runs than the extra dash, than what is it, Greatest Reflex? Nimble Reflex? I'm forgetting its name, but because I never talk about it. It's just the like almost in every circumstance default number of get one more dash. There are a few situations where you would not want to take one more dash, but Ruthless Reflex on dash only runs is just too invaluable not to take. It's so incredible. because it gives you a 50% damage increase and a 50% dodge chance every time you have a near miss dodge, meaning if you were to get hit, but you're in your iframes from the dash and you were about to get hit, but you're in your iframes, so you don't take the damage. And it's so easy to do that, especially once you get a bunch of dashes. But we are basically as spoon-fed for this run as we could be. We have 280 HP. We have our Patroclus, which may or may not make it to Hades, but I forget if I took Extreme Measures 4 or not. If we didn't take Extreme Measures 4, this is a free win. Like, this is basically guaranteed as long as I play smart. At this point, we take Acorn for safety, because again, Acorn is way more reliable than Lucky Tooth. And aside from Extreme Measures 4 spawning a Butterfly Ball or a Giant Gemstone that just completely eats our shields, but you know, under most circumstances, it is exactly what we want it to be. Anyway, focusing. So, really the only thing we could hope to get at this point is more HP, a Palm on the dash, or one of the, or frankly, we need Poseidon's tier 2 boon that makes us deal more damage against bosses. We do have a very expensive Hermes, a bunch of Palms, and one cheaper Poseidon, as well as 2 Poseidon boons here. I will probably go for the HP first. Again, I think at this point HP matters more than anything else, and generally speaking, I go for boss chamber. I always go mini boss chamber first. I've learned my lesson about not doing that. Mini bosses are objectively easier to deal with in most situations. These very tiny chambers of sticks make it so easy to have enemies bounce everywhere with Poseidon boons and take a whole lot of damage. So there's that as well. And then on top of everything else, the base damage, I'm gonna go ahead and just eat this to fully heal. We're back to 224 HP, lovely. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping my HP high, but honestly, given the amount of HP I gain back, it's unlikely that a mini boss will ruin my life and my run. Like, I feel very confident about this because Poseidon boons just destroy mobs in sticks. Less great against Hades himself, but again, what we really want is to ideally get the Poseidon boon that makes us deal more damage against bosses. I am just going to try and take out the Satyr first because for some reason, Satyrs have laser guided sights when I'm on a dash only run. I swear, they are able to hit me no matter where I dash to and how many times I dash. Like, I should have so many iframes and yet still they hit me. Anyway, I'd say that's pretty clean considering we left this room with more HP than we started with, right? I'd say that went pretty well. Do I want that Poseidon boon? Now, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go for the mini boss chamber. If we don't get Poseidon, then I will go ahead and or if we don't get a 2 chamber sticks, then I'll go ahead and go for those Poseidon rooms. But I think, arguably speaking, we do have a fair bit of time on the timer left, but I'd rather have my Kiss of Sticks make it to Hades than have a stronger run. That said, if we do not get the 2 chamber sticks, I'll rethink my thoughts on that, I suppose. But, all right. Moment of truth. Do we get the 2 chamber sticks? Actually, I think we may be able to keep our Kiss of Sticks, even if we don't get the 2 chamber sticks. If we get a 3 chamber sticks, I still think we have enough. We saw Patroclus so late into Elysium that he's actually going to follow us into Hades if we get a 3 chamber sticks. We do get 2 chambers, so I really have to make a hard decision. Do I go for that? Do I greed for that extra boon, or do I just send it? Because it's reasonable to do either. I think, why don't we? Let's go ahead and buy this Poseidon boon and see what we get. Typhoon's Fury. A shame we can't see that benefit us against Hades. We'll go ahead and buy that Palm, toss it on our call because it literally doesn't matter. I think I'm just gonna send it. I feel good enough about this run that I'd rather just I have enough time. I'm not 100% sure I didn't take forced overtime, and if I did take forced overtime, or not forced overtime, if I did take extreme measures 4, I'd want to make sure I have enough time because I need to play safe, and more time means safety here. All right, daddies, what have you got? Are we extreme measures 3 or 4? Curious to know. We do have Acorn, I need to remember that, but basically the idea here against Hades in a dash only run is that I wait for his animation and then I just do my full dash chain, and generally speaking, as long as I do that and then run away, I will still get hit. Which is not what I want. I don't want to get hit, but I did get hit anyway. It does not look like we have Extreme Measures 4 on though, which is good. He's only doing a single big sweeping slash. So we have this basically in the bag as long as I just don't choke, which We all know I've said this before, and I can absolutely choke, but generally speaking, base level Hades, no matter how many other boons he's or how many other Pact of Punishment perks he's got, is pretty approachable for me. Not to mention we melt his little friends. We're down 3 charges on the Acorn, which isn't ideal. And these Void Stones will always cause issue, but if I can bounce them into a wall, they just get immediately popped, which feels great. And I'm gonna take care of this guy's friend because I have found when I'm not pressed against time, I definitely got hit there. I think that was Ruthless Reflex blocking the damage because it didn't pop an Acorn shield. I have found that reliability or consistency in this usually requires me to kill the unfriendlies that Hades spawns in. Particularly if we get him into the next phase when there are still things floating around, this gets kind of complicated too quickly, especially in Extreme Measures 4. Those mini-bosses he spawned, like, it's so rude of him to spawn mini-bosses in his fight. Especially some of them more than others. Like, you get a Skull Crusher, fine, it's free. He's like the easiest mini-boss Hades. Oh, good, a Chariot. Oh, good, a Chariot, an Armored Chariot, okay. We need to get that Chariot into a corner and just pop it into a wall up. See, like, I'm lucky that Chariot didn't hit me, but that Chariot had every reason to hit me. And that's why I take the Lucky Tooth in Elysium, is because I genuinely have needed it against Chariots. We got lucky. I don't think we saw a single Chariot in Elysium, actually. Though the Lucky Tooth may have been wasted a little bit, but... Alright. We've almost got him through phase 1, just trying to maintain my damage buff from Ruthless Reflex, and as soon as I see him play an animation, that's when I dash. I don't attack until I don't dash until I see him start to launch an animation, and then I'm basically just stringing together iframes almost infinitely, and I'm fine if that's the case. Alright, here we go, phase 2. I've got this. I'm honestly doing phenomenally. I still have 260 HP, plus another 260 HP when I die. So, I don't think I have anything to worry about here. This was one of the freest dash-only runs I've ever done, Kiwi. Like, I got spoon-fed every boon that I could basically have possibly wanted, aside from the do more damage against bosses. If it weren't for that, like, there was almost no boon that I needed that I didn't get. Granted, it would have been really funny to see Poseidon's Legendary, but I don't think it actually makes us do more damage against bosses, so it's kind of whatever in that regard. Nonetheless, I can't help but laugh at how spoon-fed of a run this was. Alright, we're halfway there. I still haven't taken any damage, mind you. I'm sure I'm about to get hit after saying all that, but this would be a cool no damage hate. Like, I mean, does it count as taking damage if you get... well, there's some near misses. Like, if you count near... Well, nothing I can do about that. I mean, there were plenty of things I could have done about that, but I guess does it count as a no damage run if you use up all your Acorn charges and have multiple pops of Ruthless Reflex? I would argue it does, because you didn't actually take damage, you took hits. Hit lists and damage lists could objectively be two different things. Anyway, I think we've just about got him. I wasn't even close to losing this Death Defiance or Stubborn Defiance or whatever. Oh, well, man, he hit his, like, his weakest attacks deal 40 damage. Anyway, we've got him. He died to Razor Shoals. I'm just cheesing with him there. Anyway, there we go, Kiwi. 50 heat.
I'll grant you, Zagreus.
50 heat, dash only run. Doesn't get sillier than that. And somehow that was objectively easier than just doing a baseline Twin Fist run for 50 heat. I guess it makes sense. I'm way more focused on doing silly things, and Poseidon just stacks on himself so well. But even then, what a great run. What a great run. All right, like, look at this. We got, where is it? Our Aspect of Gilgamesh, or Dash, of course. We got Epic Tier Breaking Wave. We got 3 extra dashes, 300% more damage against enemies getting slammed into walls, plus the extra 200 damage from them with a, what is it, Breaking Wave? I forgot. It doesn't matter. What a great run. And technically, there is our final 50 heat clear. All weapon types have been cleared on 50 heat, which I will say it one last time, is objectively so far beyond what I could have ever expected my capabilities in this game to be. It's pretty cool.
Than before. The surface-seeking prince encounters setbacks far too hideous to be described.
But all right, let's go ahead and do our end of episode wrap up in the house and call it a day. That was a fun run, Kiwi. I will maintain my stance that out of every god in this game, Poseidon is objectively the funnest god. His builds centered around his boons just make me laugh. So I do think Poseidon is probably my favorite god whenever I'm in the mood for a fun
It's
run.
good having an opportunity to back you up out there.
But alrighty, I have enough darkness. Do I want to? Let's go pet the dog for good luck first, and then I'll think about whether I want to give goodies to the resources director.
If I don't pet your other heads, don't bite my arm off. Deal?
All right, Cerberus, you're such a good boy. Cerberus is a good boy indeed, Kiwi. All right, let's go ahead and round out the
Your
episode.
recent efforts have proved useful to this place.
I don't know what about dashing around you nonstop and splashing you with water does to help you, but I guess it helps you cool your head. Maybe a little bit. I know. Lame joke. I know, Kiwi. Lame joke. All right, let's call it a night. I'll do Resources Director in another episode. I could use a break. Woo-wee, what a run. That was fun. All right, Kiwi. Also, again, I had all of my buttons unmapped for that run, so there was never a chance, aside from my Chthonic Keepsake, that I was using any move other than the dash. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching.
Boyo, hit me. Go on.
And if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Sleep well, Kiwi.